Well, it's a Saturday again and I am back onto this little beauty. As you all know from the last video, I've got the gearbox in, notched the tunnel underneath, and then I did come up the other day and clean up this stuff, so all the fuel tank and everything is out. And I've pulled all the wiring back through. Basically I can drop the entire engine right down, which I'll do in a bit. And then up here, considering what I do with the rear end, I think my best option is to use MX5 stuff with the CRV diff mounted into the MX5 subframe. So I'm just like having a look at the minute and it looks pretty good if I'm honest. That'll fit really easy. Probably gonna cut 4 or 5 inches out of the subframe to make it narrower, because I don't want it to be as wide as this car. And I'm using 9J wheels and I'm going to put 9-inch wide tyres on, so I don't want the wheels to stick out any further than they do right now. Right, so I'm going to get the crane out, drop this down, get it out of the way and crack on and see how far I can get today. Quick update, engine is on the floor. I have welded in the tunnel, welded that back together, got a bit on the inside to do, and I made this mount for the rear of the engine, so hopefully I'll be able to retain some of my old mount, put some rust treatment on there. I cut all this side away, as you can see needs a little bit of work. Probably should just cut this whole area out and replate it, but what I'm going to do now is lift the engine up into the hole and have a look. I might actually blow some of this crap away, have a look and see where everything lines up. Oh yeah, also in here, you dropped my phone. I mounted the new shifter, just needed to drill a couple of extra holes because it's a little bit narrower than the original. I just got the engine back in and it's pretty much in position, I think. I managed to, see if you can see down there, but I managed to just change the position slightly so that it misses the original steering rack mount. And then the thing I was talking about in the last video, where I measure off the drive shafts, you can see the gap in there. As you can see, same gap on this side, so I measure that gap and the distance this way so I can get the longitudinal and the transverse position correct. So I also put a digital bevel box on the engine to measure the lean, how much it's leaning back. So I go off the sill because I think the sill's pretty good. Then I find somewhere that's like level this way, make sure the engine's level that way as well. And I'm pretty happy with the position. It's tilting back about 2 degrees more than it should be, but that's something that can be adjusted when I do the rear mount, because it's just like 2 degrees is literally like that much, so I can do that when I do the back mount. And I'm using the standard CRV mount here, and I can literally make a post that comes up with a thread in it, weld it all in, plate it up and make it strong. So I think that's probably going to be my next job, is making up the mount for there, and I'll have another quick double check to make sure everything's in the right place. Here are the results of this weekend's work. I kind of made a mount. Needs a little bit more work, needs some gusseting, and I need to put crush tubes in the chassis, and I also need to sort out some of this chassis leg, make it look a bit tidier. And then I'll show you what I've done for the engine mount. So I welded on a big plate, used all the standard Honda mounting stuff, and made a little tower, go around here. So I'm quite happy with that, it's nice and strong. And then down the back we've got this mount here, which I need to finish welding. And I discovered that the original downpipe that I made pretty much fits. As you can see, it kind of fits. It may be a bit close to the drive shaft, so I might have to move it a little bit. So you can see the engine mount a bit better, but it's more of a torque mount. All the weight of the engine is supported by the other two. And then I notched don't know if I showed you the notch, but I've got so much clearance. The engine is about 2 degrees tilted further back than it would be normally. So you can just about see there's enough room for the steering rack mount, so I haven't had to modify anything there. And this box up here like ties stuff together a bit better from cutting out some of this strength, although it's still mega strong. And you can see I've got good clearance here for a CV boot. Okay, so in the next day or two I need to drop the engine, finish welding up everything. Got a little weld to put along that edge, clean everything up and give it a bit of a prime and paint. So in the next video this car will be running and driving again, but only in front wheel drive. So yeah, watch this space.